Ever wondered how a powerful goddess brought ancient Egypt to its knees? Tonight, let me take you on a journey deep into the sands of time, a journey where myths come alive and the air is thick with the whispers of the past. This is the story of Sekhmet, the fierce lioness goddess of war and healing, whose wrath once threatened to wipe out humanity. Stay with me till the end as we unravel the mysteries of this ancient tale, and I promise you'll find the perfect tranquility for a deep and restful sleep. The serene Nile River stretched like a ribbon through the heart of the ancient land, its waters glistening under the golden rays of the sun. The gentle lapping of the waves against the riverbanks provided a soothing backdrop to the harmonious symphony of nature. Alongside the Nile, lush green papyrus swayed gently in the breeze, their rustling leaves whispering secrets of a time long past. The grand pyramids stood tall and majestic on the horizon, their colossal structures casting long, serene shadows over the desert sands. These timeless monuments, built with meticulous precision, reached towards the heavens, their smooth limestone surfaces gleaming softly in the early light. Nearby, the bustling marketplaces were alive with the chatter of merchants and the vibrant colors of spices, fabrics, and pottery. The scent of fresh bread mingled with the rich aroma of exotic spices, filling the air with a tantalizing mix of fragrances. Camels and donkeys moved steadily through the narrow streets, their gentle footfalls adding to the peaceful rhythm of daily life. The people of ancient Egypt, dressed in flowing linen garments, went about their day with a sense of purpose and tranquility. From the high priests clad in ornate robes, tending to sacred rituals in the towering temples, to the farmers working diligently in the fertile fields along the river's edge, everyone played their part in the grand tapestry of this ancient civilization. As the sun began its descent, painting the sky with hues of orange and pink, the land transformed into a realm of serene beauty. The Temple of Sekhmet, nestled within this picturesque landscape, stood as a silent sentinel, its stone walls echoing with the stories of divine power and ancient mysteries. The warm glow of torches illuminated the intricate carvings that adorned the temple's entrance, each symbol and hieroglyph telling tales of gods and goddesses, heroes and legends. This was a place where the divine and the mortal intersected, where the power of the gods was palpable in every stone and every whispering breeze. As the day gave way to night, the stars emerged like diamonds scattered across a velvet sky, and the ancient land of Egypt settled into a peaceful slumber, cradled in the embrace of history and myth. With this serene setting in mind, let us journey deeper into the tale of Sekhmet and discover how the goddess's wrath was both a force of destruction and a pathway to healing. The embodiment of fierce beauty and divine power, Sekhmet was a vision to behold. Her appearance was both awe-inspiring and terrifying, striking a balance between majestic grace and untamed ferocity. Picture a lioness with eyes that blazed like the sun, piercing through the very soul of those who dared to meet her gaze. Her mane, a cascade of golden flames, flowed around her regal face, signifying her untouchable strength and radiant authority. She stood tall and imposing, draped in robes of crimson and gold that shimmered like the setting sun on the Nile, a testament to her royal status among the gods. In one hand, Sekhmet wielded the Ankh, the ancient symbol of life, representing her sacred duty to heal and safeguard the well-being of her people. In the other, she held the scepter, a symbol of her unyielding power and her role as the goddess of war. Her presence was a constant reminder of the delicate balance between life and death. Sekhmet's dual nature was the essence of her divinity. On one hand, she embodied the nurturing and protective qualities of a healer, capable of mending the gravest of wounds and eradicating illnesses with her mere touch. Her breath was said to bring life, her gaze to cure ailments, yet beneath this benevolent exterior lay the heart of a warrior. When angered, her wrath knew no bounds. She could unleash devastating plagues and wreak havoc upon the earth, her roars echoing across the heavens, striking fear into the hearts of gods and mortals alike. The ancient Egyptians revered Sekhmet, understanding that her fury was as essential as her compassion. They knew that her anger was not born of malice, but of an unyielding sense of justice and a desire to maintain harmony in the world. Through her, the cycle of creation and destruction was given divine form, reminding all who worshipped her of the eternal dance between balance and chaos. As we delve deeper into the story of Sekhmet, remember that her tale is not merely one of anger and retribution, but also of transformation and renewal. She is both the destroyer and the healer, a goddess whose power is as boundless as the desert sands and as nurturing as the waters of the Nile. Ra, the sun god, was troubled deeply by the events unfolding before him. Seated atop his celestial barge, which traversed the sky each day and descended into the underworld each night, he observed the mortal realm with a heavy heart. Humanity, once reverent and obedient, had begun to stray from the sacred path. Their growing disobedience and disrespect weighed on him like the scorching desert sun. Mortals, once devoted to the gods, now mocked sacred traditions, ignoring the rituals that had sustained the harmony between the divine and the mundane for eons. Temples fell into neglect, offerings became sparse, and the once thriving connection between the heavens and the earth began to falter. Ra, with his all-seeing eye, witnessed humans indulging in hubris and conflict, their actions threatening to unravel the very fabric of existence. The balance that held the world in delicate harmony was at risk, and Ra knew that inaction would lead to chaos. Each day, as his barge sailed across the sky, the sun god pondered the fate of humanity. His divine mind weighed the consequences of allowing this disobedience to persist. He sought counsel from other gods, but the answer remained elusive. The tranquility of the heavens contrasted starkly with the turmoil unfolding below. Ra's divine essence pulsed with the need for a resolution. The sun god's dilemma was clear. He needed to restore order, to remind humanity of the divine law that governed their existence. Yet, how could he achieve this without turning to harsh retribution? His compassion for his creation clashed with his duty as a god to maintain cosmic order. As the sun set and Ra's barge began its descent into the underworld, the god's thoughts turned to Sekhmet. The fierce lioness goddess had always served as the embodiment of his wrath, a reminder to humanity of the power that lay beyond the mortal realm. Ra knew that invoking Sekhmet's fury could bring humanity back in line, but the potential for widespread destruction troubled him deeply. Ra's dilemma was not just a matter of punishing the disobedient. It was a question of balance: how to chastise without annihilation, how to teach without causing irreparable harm. Underneath the tranquil night sky, Ra's decision loomed large, and the solution seemed to rest in the paws of the lioness goddess Sekhmet. Ra's decision, born out of the weight of his divine responsibility, came with a heavy heart. Amidst the endless expanse of the night sky, Ra's celestial barge moved steadily, the god's mind alight with contemplation. He understood that the time had come to act decisively. Humanity's transgressions could not go unchecked, and the cosmic balance needed restoration. With a deep, resonant voice that carried the authority of ages, Ra summoned the council of gods to witness his decree. Standing tall, his golden form illuminated by the eternal flame of the sun, Ra's presence commanded respect and reverence. The assembly of divine beings listened intently, aware of the gravity of the moment. Ra's eyes, glowing with the fire of 1,000 suns, met those of his fellow gods as he proclaimed his decision. In his voice echoed not only the anger of a god, but also the sorrow of a creator forced to discipline his wayward children. The time had come to remind humanity of the power that governed their existence, to re-establish the sacred bond they had chosen to break. With unwavering resolve, Ra invoked the name of Sekhmet, the lioness goddess whose fury was unparalleled. Her role as the enforcer of divine justice was irrefutable, and Ra knew that only through her formidable power could the necessary lesson be imparted. The sky seemed to darken as Ra's words resonated across the heavens, summoning Sekhmet from her ethereal abode. Sekhmet emerged, her golden mane blazing like the fiercest sun, her eyes burning with a fire that mirrored Ra's own intensity. As she stood before him, the air crackled with the promise of her wrath. Ra spoke to her with a tone that mingled command with solemnity. He entrusted Sekhmet with the task of delivering divine retribution, reminding her of the delicate balance she must maintain between destruction and restraint. The goddess listened intently, her gaze unwavering, understanding the enormity of the mission bestowed upon her. With a mighty roar that echoed through the celestial realms, Sekhmet accepted the charge. Her form, a majestic blend of beauty and terror, radiated an aura of both anticipation and duty. Ra, satisfied with the resolve of his chosen enforcer, watched as Sekhmet prepared to descend upon the mortal world. As the first light of dawn began to pierce the horizon, Ra's barge resumed its journey across the sky. The decision had been made, the path set in motion. Sekhmet, embodying the dual forces of annihilation and healing, would descend upon humanity, a living testament to the might of the gods and the consequences of straying from the divine order. With each sunrise, Ra would observe the unfolding events, his gaze unwavering, holding the hope that through this trial, humanity would rediscover its reverence and harmony with the divine. Sekhmet unleashed, the earth trembled beneath her mighty paws as Sekhmet descended upon the mortal world. The air around her crackled with an almost tangible energy, foretelling the wrath that was about to be unleashed. Her eyes, glowing with an intense and unrelenting fire, scanned the lands below, seeking out the transgressions that had incurred her divine ire. The once serene landscape transformed almost instantly as her feet touched the ground. The vibrant marketplaces fell silent, the chatter of merchants and the colorful displays of goods vanishing as if swallowed by the quiet of impending doom. The tranquility of ancient Egypt shattered as the lioness goddess roared, her voice a thunderous declaration that echoed through the valleys and across the Nile. Her golden mane flared like an incandescent sun, casting an eerie glow that turned day into a surreal twilight. Villages that had dared to neglect their sacred duties felt the full force of her fury. Crops withered under her burning gaze, and the fertile lands became barren deserts, void of life and hope. The lush papyrus along the riverbanks, once swaying gently in the breeze, were now scorched remnants, whispering the tales of Sekhmet's wrath. In the cities, monumental structures were reduced to rubble, their proud facades crumbling under the weight of her divine anger. Temples that had once stood as places of worship and reverence were torn apart, their sacred halls echoing with the cries of those who had forsaken their vows. Humanity's cries for mercy went unanswered as Sekhmet moved with the swiftness and precision of a seasoned warrior. Her scepter, symbolizing her unyielding power, struck with devastating force, obliterating all that stood in her path. Yet her actions were not merely about destruction. Sekhmet's fury was also a crucible of transformation, a divine reckoning that sought to cleanse and rejuvenate. Her presence, though terrifying, was also a catalyst for renewal, reminding humans that from the ashes of their transgressions, new life could emerge. Even as she unleashed destruction, there was a method to her madness, a divine logic that sought to restore balance to the world. Those who survived her initial onslaught would bear witness to the consequences of their hubris and neglect, understanding the grave error of their ways. Through the devastation, there was a glimmer of hope that humanity would learn, change, and seek to rebuild the sacred bond they had once cherished. As Sekhmet's rampage continued, the sky above mirrored her ferocity. Storm clouds gathered, casting shadows that danced alongside the flames of ruin below. Lightning cracked through the heavens, each bolt a reminder of the goddess's relentless pursuit of justice. The Nile, once a symbol of life and continuity, seemed to reflect the turmoil, its waters churning with an unrest that matched the chaos on land. Yet, amidst the destruction, there were moments of profound silence. These pauses were not signs of mercy, but rather the eye of the storm, a brief respite before Sekhmet's fury resumed. In these fleeting moments, the remaining mortals could almost hear the heartbeat of the goddess, a pulse that throbbed with both anger and the possibility of redemption. Sekhmet's descent was not merely an act of vengeance, but a divine intervention aimed at restoring the sacred balance. As she tore through the lands, her essence served as a stark reminder of the delicate harmony between the divine and the mortal, a balance that, once disrupted, brought forth untold consequences. Through her wrath, Sekhmet sought to teach a lesson that would echo through the annals of time. The gods were not to be forgotten, and the bond between the heavens and the earth was not to be broken. As the world around her lay in ruins, Sekhmet's fury began to wane, giving way to a sense of fulfillment. She had delivered the message, and now it was up to humanity to heed it. The destructive storm that was Sekhmet began to recede, leaving behind a land forever changed by her presence. In the aftermath, as the first light of dawn broke through the remnants of the dark clouds, a new day dawned upon a repentant and awakened humanity. The journey of renewal had only just begun. The perspective of the ancient Egyptians was one of profound fear and desperation as they faced the wrath of Sekhmet. The peaceful lives they once knew were now engulfed in chaos. The once bustling marketplaces, filled with laughter and the vibrant colors of daily life, now lay in eerie silence. Fearful whispers replaced joyous conversations as the people huddled together, their eyes wide with terror. The sound of Sekhmet's roars echoed in their minds, a constant reminder of the destruction that loomed over their heads. Families clung to each other, praying fervently for mercy, their voices trembling with desperation. The farmers, whose lives depended on the fertile lands along the Nile, watched in horror as their crops withered away under Sekhmet's burning gaze. The earth, which had once been a source of life and sustenance, turned to dust and sand beneath their feet. Their despair was palpable as they realized that their very livelihood was slipping away. The high priests, who once commanded respect and reverence, found themselves powerless in the face of the goddess's fury. They gathered in the desecrated temples, their ornate robes now symbols of their helplessness. They performed rituals with trembling hands, offering what little they had left in a desperate bid to appease Sekhmet. Their chants reverberated through the hollow halls, but the silence that followed their pleas was deafening. In the cities, the grand monuments and temples that had stood as testaments to human achievement now lay in ruins. The people wandered through the streets, their steps uncertain, as they tried to make sense of the devastation. They saw the crumbled facades and shattered statues, stark reminders of their hubris and neglect. Every corner they turned, every shadow they saw, seemed to hold the fiery eyes of Sekhmet, watching them, judging them. The river Nile, once the lifeblood of the civilization, now seemed a mirror of their turmoil. Its waters churned with unrest, reflecting the chaos on land. As they looked at the Nile, the Egyptians felt the weight of their disobedience and the realization that their bond with the divine had been broken. Mothers held their children close, shielding them from the horrors around them. They whispered stories of the gods, trying to instill a sense of hope in young minds, but their own eyes betrayed their fear. Fathers stood vigilant, their faces etched with worry, as they tried to protect their families from an enemy they could not see or fight. Sekhmet's presence was a constant weight on their souls, a reminder of their vulnerability in the face of divine power. The ancient Egyptians were not just facing physical destruction, they were confronting the very essence of their existence. Their faith, their beliefs, their traditions, all were being tested in the inferno of Sekhmet's wrath. In their desperation, they sought signs of forgiveness, looking to the skies, the river, and the remnants of their sacred places. Small acts of kindness and unity began to emerge amid the chaos. Neighbors helped each other rebuild what little they could, sharing resources and comfort. These gestures, though small, were symbols of their resilience and their hope for redemption. As the night fell, the people of ancient Egypt lay in their homes, or what was left of them, haunted by the fear of what the next day might bring. Their prayers continued, a chorus of voices that carried their despair and their hope into the heavens. Every rustling leaf, every distant sound made their hearts race, wondering if it was another sign of Sekhmet's wrath. Yet, amid the fear and desperation, there was a growing realization. The destruction around them was not just punishment, but a divine message, urging them to rebuild not just their homes, but their connection with the gods. They understood that their survival depended not just on their strength, but on their humility and their willingness to honor the divine order once more. The ancient Egyptians, in the face of Sekhmet's wrath, found themselves on a path of transformation. Their fear and desperation were slowly giving way to a determination to restore the balance they had lost. They knew that their journey would be long and arduous, but with each step they sought to renew their bond with the divine, hoping that their prayers would once again be answered with the blessing of peace and harmony. The plea to Ra was born out of sheer desperation and the overwhelming realization of their own folly. The people of ancient Egypt, now humbled and broken by Sekhmet's wrath, turned their faces to the heavens. Gathered in the ruins of their once magnificent temples, they prayed fervently to Ra, the almighty sun god, whose light had always guided them. Their voices, choked with emotion, echoed through the night, a chorus of supplication and repentance. The high priests, leading the people in their pleas, offered what little remained of their sacred treasures. Golden statues, incense, and the finest linens were laid before altars now scorched by Sekhmet's fury. The scent of burning frankincense filled the air, mingling with the cries of the faithful. "O great Ra," they prayed, "forgive us for our transgressions. Hear our plea and save us from the wrath of Sekhmet." Their prayers were not mere words but a collective outpouring of their souls. Young and old, rich and poor, all came together, their differences forgotten in the face of divine judgment. Farmers whose fields lay barren offered the last of their harvest. Artisans whose hands had crafted the wonders of their civilization laid their tools at the feet of the altars. Even the children, with eyes wide in fear and wonder, whispered prayers learned at their mother's knees. As the night wore on, the people's desperation grew. They sang hymns of repentance, their melodies haunting and filled with sorrow. The ancient words, once sung in times of celebration, now carried a plea for mercy. Ra, source of all life, we beseech you, restore the balance and let us once again feel your warmth without fear. The priests with trembling hands performed the sacred rites. Their chants rose and fell, a rhythmic plea that seemed to blend with the very pulse of the earth. They anointed themselves with sacred oils, their bodies glistening in the torchlight as they danced the ancient dances of supplication. "Guide us back to your light, O Ra," they implored, "and temper the fury of Sekhmet with your boundless compassion." The offerings grew more elaborate as the night deepened. Precious jewels, fine silks, and the rarest of spices were all placed reverently before Ra's altar. The people, now united in their plea, offered not just material wealth, but also their heartfelt promises to restore the sacred traditions they had neglected. Vows were made to rebuild the temples, to honor the gods daily, and to teach future generations the importance of divine harmony. The sky above, once turbulent and filled with storm clouds, seemed to listen. The stars, like silent witnesses, twinkled softly, casting a gentle light on the scene below. The Nile, its waters still reflecting the chaos, now seemed to flow with a quieter, more contemplative energy. As dawn approached, the people's pleas reached a crescendo. With the first light of Ra's return on the horizon, they gathered together in one final, unified cry for mercy. "Ra, great Father, hear our plea. We have learned our lesson. Spare us and guide us back to the path of righteousness." The sun began to rise, its golden rays piercing through the remnants of the dark clouds. The warmth of Ra's light touched the earth, and for a moment there was a profound silence. The people of ancient Egypt held their breath, their hearts pounding with a mixture of hope and fear. And then, as if answering their collective prayer, the air seemed to change. The oppressive weight of Sekhmet's fury began to lift, replaced by a gentle, soothing presence. The destruction halted, and a sense of calm began to wash over the land. Ra had heard their plea. The people, now filled with a renewed sense of hope, wept tears of relief and gratitude. They bowed low, pressing their foreheads to the ground, thanking Ra for his mercy. The dawn of a new day brought with it the promise of redemption and the chance to rebuild. The journey ahead would be long, but with Ra's light to guide them, they knew they could restore the sacred balance and live once more in harmony with the divine. Ra's regret began to weigh heavily on his golden form as he sailed across the sky each day. From his celestial barge, he looked down upon the world he had helped create, now marred by destruction and desolation. The once thriving villages lay in ruins, a haunting reminder of the ferocity of Sekhmet's unleashed wrath. The cries of mortals, their pleas and prayers, echoed in his divine mind, filling him with an unbearable sorrow. Ra's heart ached as he saw the fields, once lush and fertile, now barren and lifeless. The vibrant markets, the bustling streets, the temples filled with song, all gone, replaced by a somber silence. His creation, the world he had loved and nurtured, was now a shadow of its former self. The devastation was far more severe than he had anticipated, and the weight of his decision pressed down on him like the heaviest of burdens. Each day, as his barge traversed the sky, Ra's regret deepened. He saw children orphaned, families torn apart, and communities struggling to survive in the aftermath of Sekhmet's fury. The balance he sought to restore seemed more elusive than ever, slipping away like grains of sand through his fingers. He had hoped to teach humanity a lesson, to rekindle their reverence for the divine, but the cost had been too great. The pain and suffering of his beloved mortals seared into his being, leaving a scar that would never heal. Ra pondered his next move, his divine mind racing through the possibilities. He knew that he could not simply reverse the devastation. The damage had been done, but he also knew that he could not stand by and allow this suffering to continue. He had to find a way to mend what was broken, to bring healing and hope back to the world. As he sailed through the night, his thoughts turned to Sekhmet, his fierce enforcer. He had unleashed her power with the intention of restoring order, but her wrath had gone beyond what he had envisioned. The lioness goddess had fulfilled her duty with unwavering precision, but the consequences were more than he could bear. Ra's regret was not just for the suffering of the mortals, it was also for the burden he had placed on Sekhmet. He considered calling her back, but he knew that doing so would not erase the pain already inflicted. The answer lay not in retraction, but in finding a new path forward. Ra's mind turned to the other gods, seeking their counsel and wisdom. He knew that together, they could devise a plan to bring healing to the land and to the hearts of the people. The lesson had been learned, now it was time to rebuild and restore. With each passing day, Ra's resolve grew stronger. He would not abandon his creation, he would not let his regret paralyze him. He would find a way to bring light back into the world, to soothe the wounds and rekindle the hope that had been lost. As the sun set and Ra's barge descended into the underworld, his heart was heavy, but his determination was unwavering. The path ahead was fraught with challenges, but Ra knew that with compassion, wisdom, and the support of the divine, he could guide humanity back to a place of harmony and peace. Devising a plan, Ra realized he needed to act swiftly to prevent further destruction. The fierce lioness goddess Sekhmet was out of control, her rampage threatening to annihilate all that she had initially sought to protect. Ra's essence brimmed with both regret and determination as he gathered the gods once more, seeking their wisdom to devise a solution. The answer came in the form of an ancient and potent remedy, a drink that could calm even the most enraged of beings. This concoction, known for its ability to subdue and pacify, would be their means to halt Sekhmet's wrath. Ra called upon Thoth, the god of wisdom and magic, who possessed unparalleled knowledge of the sacred arts. Together, they carefully formulated the plan. They would create a drink so enticing and powerful that Sekhmet would be unable to resist it. This drink, resembling the color of blood, would appeal to her warrior's spirit but contain a mixture of soothing herbs that would quell her fury. Ra instructed the gods to gather vast quantities of pomegranate juice, known for its rich red hue. To this, they added mandrake root, lotus petals, and poppy seeds, ingredients with profound calming properties. As the mixture took shape, they imbued it with divine energy, chanting ancient incantations that Thoth himself had crafted. Each word, each gesture, infused the drink with the power to pacify even the mightiest of deities. The gods worked tirelessly, their combined efforts a testament to their shared commitment to restore balance. Once the drink was prepared, Ra faced the most challenging task, delivering the potion to Sekhmet without arousing her suspicion. This is where Hathor, the goddess of love and joy, played a crucial role. Known for her charm and grace, Hathor could approach Sekhmet in a way that no other could. Disguising the potent drink as a celebratory offering, Hathor ventured into the mortal realm. She carried with her the vessel filled with the scarlet liquid, her demeanor serene and inviting. As she approached Sekhmet, who was still engulfed in her frenzy, Hathor danced and sang, her voice a soothing balm over the chaos. Sekhmet, drawn to Hathor's joyous presence, paused in her rampage. Intrigued by the offering, she accepted the drink, its color and aroma reminiscent of the battlefield, but carrying an underlying promise of tranquility. As Sekhmet consumed the potion, the effects were almost immediate. Her fiery eyes softened, and the ferocity in her stance began to ebb. The calming herbs and divine enchantments worked their magic, subduing the lioness goddess's rage. Sekhmet's breath slowed, her powerful form relaxing as the potion took hold. The destruction ceased, and the land, holding its collective breath, felt the shift in the air. The gods watched with bated breath as Sekhmet, now subdued and calm, began to understand the weight of her actions. Her gaze met Hathor's, a silent acknowledgement passing between them. The wrath that had once driven her was now replaced with a sense of reflection and the beginning of remorse. Ra, observing this from his celestial barge, felt a profound sense of relief. His plan had worked, but he knew that this was only the beginning of the journey towards healing. Sekhmet, the embodiment of both destruction and renewal, would now need to guide humanity in rebuilding what had been lost. Ra's plan had not only saved the world from imminent destruction, but also laid the foundation for a future where the divine and the mortal could once again coexist in harmony. The beer plan unfolded with meticulous precision as Ra and the gods worked tirelessly to bring their strategy to life. The solution lay in crafting a vast quantity of beer mixed with red ochre to create a liquid indistinguishable from blood. This potent mixture was designed to deceive Sekhmet and curb her ferocious appetite for destruction. Ra called upon the finest brewers in the celestial domain, masters of their craft, known for their ability to create the most enticing brews. Under Ra's careful guidance, they set about preparing immense vats of beer, each one bubbling with the frothy promise of peace. To the beer, they added a rich, earthy pigment red ochre, the same mineral used by mortals in sacred rituals and art. The ochre gave the beer a deep crimson hue, perfectly mimicking the appearance of blood. As the brewers mixed the ochre into the beer, they chanted ancient hymns, infusing the brew with a divine energy that would ensure its effectiveness. The vats of red beer glistened under the watchful eyes of the gods, each one containing the power to quell Sekhmet's rage and restore balance to the world. Ra, ever mindful of the importance of presentation, instructed the brewers to transport the beer to the mortal realm in grand vessels, each one carved with intricate symbols of peace and harmony. These vessels, filled to the brim with the scarlet brew, would be placed in strategic locations where Sekhmet was most likely to encounter them. Under the cover of night, the gods descended to the mortal world, carefully placing the vessels of red beer at the edges of the Nile, in the ruins of temples, and amidst the desolate fields that had once thrived with life. The night air was thick with anticipation as the gods retreated, their task complete, and all eyes turned to Sekhmet. When dawn broke, Sekhmet, exhausted from her relentless rampage, stumbled upon the first vessel. Drawn by the sight and scent of what she believed to be blood, she approached, her curiosity piqued. As she drank deeply, the soothing properties of the beer began to take effect. The divine mixture worked quickly, calming her mind and cooling the fiery rage within her heart. One by one, Sekhmet discovered the vessels, each sip bringing her closer to a state of tranquility. The red beer, with its cleverly disguised appearance, worked its magic, and soon Sekhmet's devastation abated. The once fearsome goddess, now pacified, lay down by the riverbank, her energy spent and her wrath extinguished. Ra's plan had succeeded, but the journey of healing was only beginning. Sekhmet, now a symbol of both destruction and renewal, would need to lead the way towards rebuilding and restoring the sacred balance that had been so grievously disrupted. As the gods watched from above, a sense of hope blossomed, hope that this divine intervention would usher in a new era of harmony between the mortal and the divine. The execution of the plan began under the serene blanket of night, when the stars cast their gentle light over the land. Gods and celestial beings moved swiftly and silently, ensuring no mortal eye would witness their divine intervention. With reverence and meticulous care, they placed the grand vessels of red beer in the locations most ravaged by Sekhmet's fury, at the edges of the Nile River, within the ruins of desecrated temples, and amidst the barren fields that once flourished with life. Each vessel, carved with intricate symbols of peace and harmony, shimmered in the moonlight, a beacon of hope in the desolation. The red ochre within the beer gave it the appearance of blood, making it irresistible to the fierce lioness goddess. As dawn approached, Sekhmet, still consumed by her relentless rage, prowled the landscape in search of more to destroy. Her golden mane blazed with an untamed fire, and her eyes burned with a hunger for retribution. The sight and scent of the crimson liquid caught her attention. Believing it to be blood, she approached the first vessel cautiously. Her powerful form cast a long shadow over the vessel, and as she bent down to inspect it, the divine mixture's aroma enticed her further. Without hesitation, she began to drink deeply, her tongue lapping up the enticing liquid. The beer, infused with calming herbs and the power of ancient incantations, worked swiftly. Its soothing properties dulled the edge of her rage and pacified her warrior spirit. As she drank, the ferocity in her eyes began to fade, replaced by a growing sense of calm. Her breaths, once heavy with anger, grew steadier, and her muscles, taut with fury, relaxed. She moved from vessel to vessel, each sip drawing her deeper into a state of tranquility. The gods, watching from their celestial realms, saw the transformation with bated breath. Sekhmet, once a whirlwind of destruction, now displayed a serene grace as she continued to drink the potent brew. The land around her, having borne the brunt of her wrath, seemed to breathe a sigh of relief as the goddess's ferocity waned. As the sun climbed higher in the sky, Sekhmet, now satiated and pacified, found herself by the tranquil banks of the Nile. The once tumultuous river now mirrored her newfound calm, its gentle flow a soothing balm over the ravaged land. She lay down by the water's edge, her once fiery eyes now closed in a peaceful slumber. The divine plan had worked. Sekhmet's wrath was quelled. Ra, from his celestial barge, watched with a profound sense of relief. His heart, heavy with regret and sorrow, now felt the stirrings of hope as the balance began to restore. The land, scarred by the devastation, held within it the promise of renewal. The gods, united in their efforts, knew that this was only the beginning. With Sekhmet's fury subdued, the journey of healing could commence. They would guide humanity in rebuilding and re-establishing the sacred bond with the divine. As the first light of dawn spread across the horizon, the world, once shrouded in chaos, now bathed in the golden glow of a new day, ready to embark on the path of transformation and renewal. Sekhmet's transformation. As Sekhmet drank deeply from the vessels of the red beer, her fierce energy began to wane. Each sip seemed to draw the fire from her eyes, replacing the raging inferno with a calm, soothing light. The intoxicating brew, rich with the essence of calming herbs and divine enchantments, worked its magic on the lioness goddess. Her taut muscles, coiled with the tension of relentless fury, began to unwind. Sekhmet's breathing, once rapid and heavy, grew slower and more measured. She blinked, her vision softening as if a warm haze was settling over her senses. Each gulp brought with it a wave of drowsiness, a gentle but irresistible pull towards rest. Her powerful legs, which had carried her with the swiftness of a storm, now felt heavy and leaden. The goddess found herself swaying slightly, her body craving the release that sleep would bring. She moved from one vessel to another, each draught deepening the spell of tranquility. Sekhmet's formidable stance relaxed. Her shoulders, so often squared in readiness for battle, began to droop. Her golden mane, once bristling with untamed energy, now fell softly around her regal face. Her eyelids grew heavy, fluttering with the effort to stay open. The landscape around her, scarred by her wrath, faded into the background as the lull of sleep took hold. With a final, deep drink from the last vessel, Sekhmet's transformation was complete. Her mighty roars, which once echoed through the valleys, were replaced by gentle sighs. Her paws, once poised to strike, now lay still by her side. She felt the earth beneath her, cool and comforting, inviting her to surrender to the peaceful embrace of slumber. Sekhmet lay down by the tranquil banks of the Nile, her body settling into the soft ground. The river's gentle flow mirrored the quiet rhythm of her now steady breaths. Her eyes, once blazing with the light of 1,000 suns, slowly closed as the drowsiness enveloped her entirely. The world around her seemed to hold its breath, watching as the fierce lioness goddess succumbed to the deep, restful sleep induced by the divine brew. As Sekhmet drifted into slumber, her transformation was a testament to the delicate balance between power and peace. The goddess, who had once embodied the very essence of destructive wrath, now lay in a state of serene repose. The land, echoing the shift in her energy, began to feel the first stirrings of renewal. The night air, once thick with tension, now carried a sense of calm, and the stars above twinkled softly in approval. Sekhmet's transformation was complete, and as she slept deeply by the Nile, the promise of a new dawn and a journey towards healing and harmony lay ahead. The Egyptians' relief was palpable as they emerged cautiously from their hiding places. The air, once heavy with fear and dread, now carried a sense of cautious hope. The sight of Sekhmet sleeping peacefully by the banks of the Nile was a miracle beyond their wildest dreams. Faces that had been etched with anxiety and despair now softened with gratitude and relief. Parents held their children close, whispering words of reassurance and pointing towards the slumbering goddess. High priests, their robes still marked with the stains of desperation, fell to their knees in profound thanksgiving. Hands that had trembled in fear now clasped together in prayers of gratitude, their voices rising in a harmonious chorus of praise. Ra has heard us, they murmured, their eyes shining with the light of renewed faith. Farmers whose fields had been reduced to dust stood in awe, their hearts swelling with a mixture of relief and determination. They knew the road to recovery would be long, but this sign of peace was the first step towards healing. Merchants whose wares had been destroyed looked towards the future with hope, ready to rebuild their lives and livelihoods. The gentle flow of the Nile seemed to carry away the remnants of fear, its waters reflecting the dawning light of a new beginning. The once desolate marketplaces began to stir with cautious activity as people ventured out, their steps tentative but filled with newfound courage. Neighbors greeted each other with embraces, tears of relief streaming down their faces. The high priests, regaining their composure, led the people in a solemn procession towards the river. They brought with them offerings of gratitude, fruits, incense, and precious artifacts, laying them gently at the water's edge as tokens of their immense relief and thankfulness. The scent of incense mingled with the fresh morning air, creating a fragrant promise of a new start. As the sun climbed higher, its golden rays illuminated the faces of the people, casting a warm glow that seemed to revive their spirits. Children, once huddled in fear, now played by the riverbanks, their laughter a joyous melody after the long silence. Elders who had seen many seasons looked towards the horizon with tears of gratitude, their hearts lifting with the promise of renewal. The entire land seemed to take a collective breath, releasing the tension of days past and welcoming the hope of brighter tomorrows. The Egyptians understood that they had been given a second chance. The lessons learned from Sekhmet's wrath would not be forgotten. They vowed to restore the temples, honor the gods, and maintain the sacred traditions that connected them to the divine. They knew that the harmony between the mortal and the divine had to be nurtured and respected. As the day progressed, the sense of relief grew stronger, and the unity among the people deepened. The sight of Sekhmet's peaceful slumber served as a powerful reminder of the balance between destruction and renewal, teaching them the priceless value of humility and reverence. With hearts full of gratitude and spirits renewed, the Egyptians began to rebuild, ready to embark on a journey towards a harmonious future. The reflection and gratitude of the Egyptians began to permeate every aspect of their lives. The powerful lesson they had learned through Sekhmet's wrath was not lost on them. They gathered in their restored temples, the air thick with the scent of incense and the soft murmur of prayers. The high priests led ceremonial rites, their voices carrying the heartfelt gratitude of the entire population. "Great Ra, we thank you for your mercy," they chanted, their words echoing through the sacred halls. Every citizen, from the youngest child to the eldest elder, participated in these expressions of gratitude. Families brought offerings to the temple, flowers, fruits, and finely woven linens, as tokens of their appreciation. Farmers who had witnessed their fields turn barren and then return to life offered the first fruits of their harvest. Artisans created intricate sculptures and carvings, each one depicting scenes of divine intervention and redemption, their hands working with reverence and humility. The Nile, once a reflection of their turmoil, now symbolized their renewed connection to the divine. Rituals were held at its banks, where families would pour libations into the sacred waters, their prayers mingling with the gentle flow of the river. They thanked Ra for the life-giving water and for the balance restored to their lives. The moral of the story was clear to all. Respect and reverence for the divine were paramount. They understood that their neglect of sacred traditions and their hubris had led to their suffering. In their daily lives, they took great care to honor the gods. Small altars adorned homes and workplaces, and every day was marked by moments of prayer and reflection. The Egyptians also saw a deeper lesson in Sekhmet's dual nature of destruction and healing. They realized that their own lives required balance between work and rest, between ambition and humility, and between individual desires and communal responsibilities. They worked not only to rebuild their surroundings but to rebuild their spirits, fostering a society where the divine and the mortal coexisted in harmony. Schools instructed the young about the sacred myths and the importance of maintaining divine favor. The tale of Sekhmet's wrath and Ra's mercy became a central part of their cultural heritage, a story passed down through generations as a reminder of their collective journey through darkness into light. In the marketplaces and fields, in the homes and temples, the sense of gratitude to Ra was palpable. Every aspect of their lives became a testament to the appreciation they felt for the second chance they had been given. The once faded bonds between the gods and the people were now stronger than ever, woven with threads of reflection, humility, and a profound gratitude that would guide them through all the days to come. The legacy of Sekhmet left an indelible mark on Egyptian culture, shaping their rituals, beliefs, and the way they revered the divine. The story of her wrath and subsequent transformation became a powerful symbol of both the destructive and nurturing forces that govern the universe. To this day, the dual nature of Sekhmet as both a healer and a destroyer is deeply embedded in the collective consciousness of the people. Temples dedicated to Sekhmet sprang up across the land, each one a testament to her mighty power and her capacity for mercy. Priests and priestesses performed daily rituals to honor her, carefully balancing offerings that acknowledged both her fierce wrath and her healing touch. They understood that appeasing Sekhmet required a profound respect for the delicate balance she represented. festivals celebrating Sekhmet were marked by elaborate ceremonies and sacred rites. The most notable of these was the annual festival of drunkenness, where the people would drink copious amounts of beer dyed red to mimic the blood-colored brew that had pacified her. This festival served as both a remembrance of her fearsome power and a celebration of her role in restoring peace. It was a time for the community to come together in joy, reflecting on the past and expressing gratitude for the goddess's mercy. Sekhmet's influence extended beyond the temples and festivals. She became a central figure in the pantheon, representing the dual forces of life and death, creation and destruction. Her image, often depicted as a lioness or a woman with a lioness's head, adorned amulets, statues, and wall carvings. These artifacts served as protective charms, believed to ward off disease and misfortune while invoking her healing powers. The medical practices of ancient Egypt were deeply intertwined with the worship of Sekhmet. Physicians and healers invoked her name when treating the sick and injured, believing that her divine touch could cure even the most grievous of ailments. Her dual nature was a constant reminder that health and illness, like life and death, were part of a natural cycle governed by the gods. The legacy of Sekhmet also influenced the social and moral fabric of Egyptian society. The story of her wrath instilled a deep sense of humility and reverence for the gods. It reminded the people of the importance of maintaining balance in their lives and their relationship with the divine. The cultural memory of Sekhmet's destruction and subsequent healing urged them to live with compassion, respect, and an awareness of their own actions' impact on the world around them. Art and literature flourished with tales of Sekhmet's power and mercy, capturing the imaginations of poets, storytellers, and scribes. These stories, passed down through generations, reinforced the values of balance and reverence, ensuring that the lessons of the past continued to guide the future. Through the ages, the worship of Sekhmet remained a cornerstone of Egyptian spirituality. Her temples, though weathered by time, continued to stand as silent sentinels of her enduring legacy. The people, in their prayers and rituals, acknowledged the dual forces she embodied, seeking her protection and guidance in both times of peace and turmoil. The story of Sekhmet's wrath and the subsequent healing journey became a timeless parable of transformation and renewal. It reminded the people of the power of the gods, the necessity of balance, and the eternal dance between destruction and creation. Through their enduring worship of Sekhmet, the ancient Egyptians found a way to honor the complexity of the divine and their place within the cosmic order, ensuring that her legacy would live on, woven into the very fabric of their civilization. Modern connections to Sekhmet's story reveal profound lessons on balance, power, and the consequences of our actions that resonate deeply even today. Just as the ancient Egyptians learned to respect the delicate interplay between creation and destruction, we too must acknowledge the importance of maintaining equilibrium in our lives and societies. In our modern world, the concept of balance is just as crucial, whether it pertains to work and personal life, environmental stewardship, or the balance of power in governance. Sekhmet's tale underscores the necessity of not tipping the scales too far in any one direction. When we neglect this balance, be it through overwork, environmental degradation, or abuse of power, the consequences can be dire. The story of Sekhmet's wrath serves as a potent reminder that unchecked actions can lead to widespread destruction and chaos. In our contemporary context, this is akin to the devastating impacts of climate change, political unrest, or economic collapse that result from imbalanced decisions and behaviors. Sekhmet represents both the power to destroy and the power to heal. This duality teaches us that with great power comes great responsibility. Our actions, whether as individuals or as a collective, have the potential to either build or break. Like Sekhmet, who could both ravage and restore, we must wield our influence with wisdom and foresight, understanding that our choices today shape the reality of tomorrow. The Egyptians' plea to Ra and their subsequent reverence and reflection highlight the importance of humility and accountability. In modern times, this translates to acknowledging our mistakes, seeking forgiveness, and striving to make amends. It reminds us that it is never too late to correct our course and restore harmony. The way the ancient Egyptians rebuilt their connection with the divine and each other is a testament to the power of unity and collective effort. In our world, facing global challenges such as pandemics, social injustice, and environmental crises requires us to come together, just as they did, to forge a path forward grounded in mutual respect and shared purpose. Furthermore, Sekhmet's transformation from a force of wrath to a symbol of healing and renewal teaches us about resilience and the possibility of change. We are reminded that through mindful actions and intentional efforts, we can turn even the most destructive situations into opportunities for growth and healing. As we reflect on Sekhmet's legacy, we see that the lessons of ancient myths continue to hold relevance. By honoring the balance between power and compassion, acknowledging the consequences of our actions, and working together towards a common good, we can navigate the complexities of our modern world with wisdom and grace. The story of Sekhmet calls us to live with integrity, to respect the interconnectedness of all life, and to recognize that our collective destiny is shaped by our willingness to maintain harmony in all aspects of existence. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of the tranquil Nile River, its gentle waves softly lapping against the shore. The golden rays of the setting sun bathe the ancient land in a warm, soothing glow. Feel the cool, smooth earth beneath your bare feet, grounding you to this serene place. As you take a deep breath, the air fills your lungs with the refreshing scent of the papyrus swaying gently in the breeze, their rustling leaves whispering secrets of a time long past. In the distance, the majestic pyramids rise towards the sky, their colossal forms casting long, calming shadows over the vast desert sands. Their ancient stones hold the wisdom and tranquility of centuries, inviting you to feel a deep connection to the timeless beauty of this land. Picture yourself walking slowly along the riverbank, the soft sounds of nature blending into a harmonious symphony around you. The distant laughter of children playing, the gentle hum of the marketplace, and the soft calls of birds create a soothing background that brings you a sense of peace. You find a quiet spot by the water's edge and sit down, feeling the warmth of the sun on your skin and the gentle breeze that caresses your face. Close your eyes and let the peaceful energy of the Nile wash over you, calming your mind and soothing your soul. Visualize the grand temples in the distance, their towering pillars adorned with intricate carvings that tell tales of gods and heroes. Imagine the warm glow of the torches illuminating the temple walls as the sun begins to set, casting a soft, comforting light over the sacred space. As you breathe deeply, the fragrant aroma of incense fills the air, mingling with the sweet scent of lotus flowers that bloom along the riverbanks. In this serene setting, you feel completely safe and at peace, embraced by the timeless beauty and tranquility of ancient Egypt. Let the gentle rhythm of the Nile and the harmonious sounds of nature lull you into a state of perfect calm. With each breath, release any tension or worries, allowing yourself to be fully present in this moment of serenity. As the stars start to twinkle softly in the night sky, you feel a profound sense of connection to the universe, the divine, and the enduring peace of this sacred land. Embrace this feeling of safety and serenity, carrying it with you as you drift into a deep, restful sleep, knowing that you are held in the gentle embrace of history and myth. The moral of the story of Sekhmet, the fierce lioness goddess, weaves a profound tapestry of balance, forgiveness, and the understanding of one's power. As we listen to this ancient myth, let us draw upon its timeless wisdom and integrate its teachings into our own lives. The first lesson is the importance of balance. In the story, Sekhmet embodies both creation and destruction. Her wrath, although born from a place of justice, brings devastation, while her eventual pacification leads to renewal and healing. This duality reminds us that life is a delicate dance between opposing forces. We must honor and maintain this balance in our own lives, recognizing that both power and compassion are essential. By doing so, we ensure harmony within ourselves and with the world around us. The second lesson is the power of forgiveness. Ra's intervention, motivated by regret and the desire to heal, teaches us that even in the face of great mistakes, forgiveness is possible. The people of ancient Egypt, through their sincere pleas and offerings, seek Ra's mercy and are ultimately granted a second chance. This reminds us that forgiveness can lead to transformation and renewal. When we forgive others and ourselves, we open the door to healing and growth, allowing us to move forward with a lighter heart. The third lesson is the understanding of one's power. Sekhmet's story illustrates that power, if unchecked, can lead to destruction. Yet when channeled with wisdom and restraint, it can be a force for good. We each possess a unique power, and it is our responsibility to wield it wisely. Whether it is the power of our words, actions, or influence, we must use it to uplift and nurture rather than to harm. In understanding our power, we become stewards of balance and harmony, contributing to a better world for all. As we conclude our journey through the myth of Sekhmet, let us carry these lessons with us. The story is a testament to the enduring wisdom of the ancients, reminding us that balance, forgiveness, and a mindful understanding of power are the keys to living a harmonious life. May the serene energy of ancient Egypt, the gentle flow of the Nile, and the timeless tales of gods and goddesses guide you to a peaceful, restful sleep. Embrace these teachings and let them infuse your dreams with a sense of tranquility and purpose. As you drift off, know that you are part of a legacy that spans millennia, a legacy that cherishes balance, seeks forgiveness, and honors the power within. Sleep deeply and peacefully, knowing that you are connected to the eternal wisdom of the past. In summary, the story of Sekhmet, the fierce lioness goddess, reminds us of the timeless dance between creation and destruction, power and compassion. Her wrath, while devastating, led to a profound transformation and healing, illustrating the delicate balance that sustains the universe. This ancient myth teaches us the importance of maintaining harmony within ourselves and with the world around us, the power of forgiveness, and the mindful use of our own power. I hope this tale has brought you a sense of peace and reflection, guiding you towards a deep and restful sleep. Thank you for joining me on this journey through the sands of time, exploring the rich tapestry of ancient Egypt and its enduring wisdom. May the serene energy of the Nile, the timeless beauty of the pyramids, and the gentle whispers of the past cradle you into a restful slumber. Sleep well, and may your dreams be filled with tranquility and purpose. If you enjoyed this story, please like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another journey into the world of myths and legends. Good night and sweet dreams.